Hi everyone, I'm Ben, and this is the Board Game Blueprint. On this week's episode, we're going to go over custom printed meeples because the Game Crafter can do that too. Yes, Dave Sheppard from Chef's Shop is going to show us how to prepare files so that we can get awesome prints like these on both the fronts and the backs of our favorite wooden pieces. Let's go check it out and see if anything can spark your creativity.
Hello, welcome again to Chef's Shop, where I'm going to teach you how to make the full color printed meeples. Now, these were a recent release, and as you can tell, there's a bit of stats here. I also gave some stats towards the front, but we're going to start by downloading the Photoshop template that's found right here in, whenever you come here, go Make Games, Products, and then you'll come to custom game pieces down here where you can find the full color printed meeple, and then that's what we're going to be using. Now, there's going to be two types of meeples that I'm going to show you here. There's going to be the first type that's just the printed colors, and then there's going to be the second type that actually has the painted white stats and the processes that will go about that. So what I have right here is the template itself, and I'm going to give you a minute to take a look at the desired goal of what this meeple will end up becoming. So this right here, we're going to be making basically samurai tanuki meeples, and then we reopen our Photoshop, and this is going to give us our base layer, our base color, to help us estimate what this is going to look like. Now, all this artwork I've actually done beforehand, so basically going to give you a chance to have your art prepared, but how to actually use it inside the actual template. So we put this base color on, and then this is going to basically give us an estimate of what our meeple is going to look like as a final product. Now, what I did do is on some of these I have different types of mouths, stuff like that, as well as different eye types. So we'll give him this mouth, and we'll give him this kind of eye type so that he's kind of like, you know, well, kind of sitting there and smiling at us. So once we have this, we turn around and remove all transparencies. So this is going to be the color that gets printed on. The white's going to be an entirely different process, but everything that's transparent is not going to be printed at all, and instead it's going to show the color of the actual meeple underneath. So we have this, and as I said, I prepared a lot of this artwork beforehand, so we don't have to worry about it too much, but we're just going to go ahead and do a test, and then we're going to name, well, we don't want a portable bitmap, but what we do want is a PNG so that our transparency is still there, and then we're just going to name this Tanuki Front, or Tanuki. Now that we have our front, we also want the back, and likewise I had this artwork done beforehand, so if we take a look, that's basically what it's going to be looking like as it prints through. And then we have various tail choices we can make. I made all this artwork beforehand, so we just go ahead and save that as a PNG, test, and we'll name it Tanuki B. Now, as I said, I made a few of these earlier, so once we have this artwork ready to go, we can turn around and in here go Make Games, and then My Games, and then you create a custom game, and it's going to automatically take us to it, and we're going to just go ahead and name it Custom Meeps. Now, we come into Custom Meeps, and it gives us this list of things that are the various types of items you can add to a game. We're going to come down here to Custom Game Pieces, and then it shows the full color printed meeple. Now that we're here, it says click or drag files here to upload, and as I mentioned before, I have plenty of pieces of artwork that we can throw in here. The big difference being basically the tails and the facial expressions between all of them. So we're just going to go ahead and grab all 8 of these, because we're basically going to make a custom Carcassonne team. So we have right here, it automatically takes the name of whatever they are that's been uploaded, and then you pick the color, and we're going to pick orange, and it says which sides have art, and if you only want to print on one side, save yourself a quarter, you can just turn around and uncheck one of these sides, and which sides need white ink, and I will actually explain that later. But for now, we have this guy, and his front and his back are the same, so we're just going to drag a different back over here. Over here, we're going to switch him to change him into orange, and likewise, just going to grab this and grab a different butt. Orange, and a third butt. Orange, and we're swinging back around to our first butt. And our second butt. Oops. And if you don't drag it into the very small window, you will end up accidentally resetting things. So back down here, we're dragging right into there. Orange, dragging right into there. We'll just go ahead and drag these other sides, and then we will add the orange right there. Now, what the special pricing is, if you order 6 or more meeples, even if they have different faces, you actually get a discount of $1 per meeple. So normally these things would be $2 each, but with ordering 6 or more, we actually get them for $1 a piece. So we take a look at this guy, and that's looking pretty good. Hit approve, 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 approve. Lots of approving here. I think we're all very approving of these tanukis. Just like that, getting more and more of them done, and that's basically it with this group. Everything's proofed, everything's ready to go, but we're just going to go ahead and come out here, and that's all we need on the Game Crafter side. It says quantity, proofed, yes, so that's basically all you need to do in order to order a group. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to do something a little bit blasphemous, and we're just going to delete all of these because, well, I'd already ordered some, and I'll show you what they look like at the end of this little instructional video. Now, the next group we want are some basically warrior monk pandas, and you can take a look at those right now. Oh, that's a great intended group. So we come here, and we go back to our template, and the thing that we have to do now is, because I want to print these on black meeples, I'm going to need a special white paint layer in order to create this. Now, there's a little bit of complexities going into this, and basically the first thing to understand is whenever they make these printed stickers that go onto the dice as well as the custom meeples, what they do is they create a very thin layer of white, and then they print it on top of it. And then what that means is there's always going to be a little thin strip of white around your colored graphics. Other than screen printing, that's basically going to be a give and take with the fact that you can do this really awesome thing. As I said before, we're wanting something to look like this for our actual final product, and that has to come in two different ways. So the first way is we're going to take a look at this right here, and we're going to hide this head, we're going to hide this black area, and we're going to hide this middle section, we're going to hide that, and basically this is going to be a game of painting in negatives. With these eyes, you can take a look at those, and I'll hide the outline real quick. And then this is going to be, well, as soon as I hide the black, hide the itty bitty nose, the paws we want. And then this is where things are going to get a little bit tricky, because what we want to do is, let's say we want to do this mouth right here. We also want to make sure that any outlying areas around the black don't show the little white strip and then the black. So what we're going to do is a little bit of overpainting, and what that means is we take a look at this. We'll do this sword right here, and then basically with the head, and actually, what head is that? Okay, so that's just the smiley head, and I'm going to hide that mouth and give it the first mouth. The eyes are really irrelevant at this point, but we take a look at this, and what we want is, as I said, a bit of overpainting with it. So we're going to have to take a look at this bottom right here, and I usually do a paint in a white just to make sure. So what we do with this is we turn around, we do a little bit of underpainting. I thought I had this saved, but we'll just go ahead and create that. And just like that. So as I said, what we're doing with this right here is, with this painting, unless I do something like this, then we're going to have a tiny little white strip that's all around these little details and stuff as they come out. So that's what we do there. And then up here, we're also going to want to do something for the mouth. Not so much for the eyes, and I'll explain why later. So what we have here is basically what we expect to be printed as a full color. And as I said, the white layer is going to be explained later, and you'll see how it all goes together. But for now, we'll just go ahead and save this as the front. And we'll just go ahead, PNG test. Panda. Okay. Now, whenever I said that we're going to have to treat the black layer or the white layer as something special, is there's going to be a secondary pass of paint, and that's going to determine where our white color will actually go on the character itself. So first off, we're going to hide this mouth, and this seems counterintuitive, but basically you're painting where you want the actual white paint to go. So in this case, you give an all white background, and then you turn around, and we're going to want this white paint to be here, and it has to show up as black on this painting area. And then we're going to take a look at this head, and we're just going to reverse that right there. So it seems counterintuitive, but basically wherever the black is, is where the white is going to paint on our actual meeples. So this is a layer that's going to be treated specially different. We're going to go ahead and save as, oh, should have done test. Okay, we're going to save as Panda White to help us organize this. We're going to do something similar with the back. And if you take a look at the back, basically, once again, we want, well, that helps us out on explaining that. But if you take a look at the back right here, we have completely transparent except for around where we want to paint. And then we're going to turn around and save just like that. I went into the wrong folder again. So we're going to call it Panda B. And then, as I said before, you want white, except none of this color in a layer like that. So we already have this layer that had been painted. And as I said, you're going to want to see where the white is going to go in relation to the actual meeple. So that's looking pretty good. We're going to save that white, and trust me, this will all make sense once you see it actually come together. I don't know why I keep going into that folder, but Panda B White. So we come back to the Game Crafter, and as I mentioned before, I actually had made a lot of this artwork beforehand, and I'm looking for it right now. There we go. Okay, so we're here in the pandas, and we want anything labeled front, but you know what, we're just going to go ahead and take directly from our test, because I don't need to show you how everything gets done all over again. So this is what we expect it to be printed out as far as the white versus the black, so on and so forth. Now, we want this to be a black meeple, and once again, ooh, does it really look like much? But we turn around, and for the back, we add the back, and then which sides need white ink? We're going to say the front and the back sides need white ink. And then it's going to show you a clone of the image that you uploaded. So we take the white side, and then we add that on the back side, and we add that. Now their preview is very cool because it actually takes this into account and gives you an idea on what we want the final product to look like. So that looks pretty close to what we want. In fact, I would say that's pretty dead on. Likewise, that is one fine looking panda butt. So, as I said, as a quick review, we take a look, and wherever you want white ink to appear, you're going to want to turn around and make it black on top of a white background. Now, why we did this overpainting, especially down here, is because if we didn't do that overpainting on this underside layer, there's a chance that there could be a printer drift and create a little crack of white that's slightly off around that area. So whenever dealing with white paint on any of these custom items, you always want to work on an overpaint strategy so that whenever it prints, it can actually give you a pretty good idea on how things will be on the final product. So, having said all of that, I will take a slight break and then show you what the fully printed meeples actually look like. So, see you soon. And here we are. I'm talking about the custom printed meeples again, and I'm going to start by showing you a couple samples. And basically these samples are starting with some of the pre-built ones that you can actually buy. And the artwork is done by the very talented Alicia Volkman. So we'll take a look right there. And as you can see a little bit of that little white layer that I was talking to about. But we have nifty little female farmer. And then we have a nifty little male farmer right there. Now, I will say these are a little bit cheaper than the actual custom printed ones you can do yourself, but there is a big store of meeples just like this with the artwork already done. So in all honesty, if you want to grab those, pretty good to do that. They have a variety of fantasy and various other things. Now comes the main event, the ones that I showed you how to actually do. And we're going to start with the tanuki. Now, as you can see, these guys are pretty cool. Got the cute little paws, all that stuff. And whenever I told you that you can do various facial expressions, oh look, he just looks a little bit concerned versus his friend right here. That one looks a bit happy. Now, these tiny little changes in artwork, most people will not notice them, so a lot of it is pointless busy work, but you can enjoy because you don't have to order 6 identical meeples. You can do these tiny little variations and changes from meeple to meeple. So that was our tanuki, and now our pandas. And as you can tell, pretty nifty looking. You can see a bit of the white around his paws, and that's why we did the overpainting, because all in all he looks pretty neat. Let's take a look at his friend, one of his friends, and once again came out pretty good, wouldn't you say? I mean, if you get a chance to do a custom printed character meeple all by yourself for $1 a piece, are you kidding me? Yeah, these are very cool, very much worth it. So thank you for watching Shep Shop. I'll see you next time.
I always enjoy custom meeples in games, and really, you're only limited to your imagination if you wanted to go through the game crafter. I've seen a couple different animals come out of it. I've seen people as well. You can order some stock people that are on the website underneath their custom meeples category, I believe. But again, we'd really love to see what kinds of custom meeples you come up with your design. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more of our future content. I'm Ben. This has been another episode of the Board Game Blueprint, and together, let's build something great.